song. It's the thrill of one more kill, the last one to fall. Who never sacrifice their will. Don't ever look back on the world closing in. Be on the attack with your wings on the wind. All the things will begin. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. And it's ours for the taking. It's ours for the fight. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. And the war is ours to fall. The winner takes all.
Hello out there, we're on the air, and it's race night tonight at the Gateway to the West. It's a clear and dry evening in Madison, Illinois, as we get set for race 3 of the 2024 Mission Barbecue Cup Series Chase for the Championship, the Budweiser Propane 400. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, lads of all ages, as we welcome you to the Gateway International Raceway via live coverage on the North American Sim Racing Network. And in the NESRN booth this evening, my name is Trey Wright. We're here on the banks of the Mississippi River just outside of St. Louis, and in true Lou fashion, the Propane 400 has returned to the St. Louis area. A little bit of a callback to the old days of the Octane Cup Series and the Speed Zone TV productions by none other than Paul Foddy, local resident of the St. Louis area. But a pair of races in the Palmetto State have defined some early favorites for the 2024 championship. But with 8 races to go, a lot can still happen between now and the final race at New Jersey. Coming out of a wild race at Greenville, Spartanburg, we take a look at your chase standings after race number 2. Alexandre Vitale, despite spinning out in the slap-on location 500, is still your points leader. He was able to recover all the way up to 5th at GS, and he leads Matthew Hubert, the winner of the slap-on location 500, by 50 points coming into tonight's race. Juan Rodriguez, Igor Barreto, Toby Murphy, all 3 drivers with top 10 finishes at GS. Derek Hamill with a top 5 finish. He rises up 4 positions, and we finally get to the first big loser coming out of the Palmetto State. Dylan Matthews with a damaged race card. She did gain 5 bonus points for having the only 4-tire pit stop of the day at Greenville Spartanburg, but she falls down 4 positions down to 7th, 185 points behind Alexandre Vitale. Braden Perez was held up by lap traffic, and he loses 3 positions en route to a 26th place finish. He falls down to 8th. Corey Case finished the lowest of the chase drivers. He threw a piston midway through. He falls down to 9th. Logan Alexander with a 24th place run and a damaged race car is able to climb up inside the top 10 in points. Bradley Ream had an accident, and Mitchell Collins threw a camshaft for a 37th place finish for that 71 car, and he is behind the 8-ball very, very early in that Tag Heuer Dodge Charger, 355 points behind Alexandre Vitale in the number 96. And Collins, the last 2 races, only amassing 20 points over the last pair of contests here in the chase, but he does start the highest of any chase driver on the grid here tonight, as we'll take a look at your full starting lineup in just a moment with your chase drivers denoted in orange. But Mitchell Collins starts 7th, Toby Murphy starts 10th, Igor Barreto 11th, Bradley Ream 14th, Derek Hamill 15th, Alexandre Vitale 19th, Dylan Matthews 25th, Logan Alexander 29th, Corey Case 33rd, Braden Perez 35th, and starting shotgun on the field in row 21, Matthew Hubert in the 75 and 41st, and the 48 machine of Juan Rodriguez starting all the way back in the 42nd starting spot on the grid tonight. And this is going to be one of the last races where it's a track position race here at Gateway, so where you start and how you do on the only pit stop of the night really, really matters. And I say it's the last track position race because after tonight, we've got the Casa Bonita Denver Double, the Denver Oval, which that's more track position and strategy as well. But the Denver Oval, that is a complete crapshoot. Ricky's a super speedway. We've seen how they've raced at Kansas before. If they race anything like they did in the Winston All-American Series at Homestead, we're in for a treat. Trenton, also track position. And finally, New Jersey, a hybrid of Kansas and Trenton for the championship finale. All the way on September 21st, which isn't that far away. We're less than a month from the championship weekend down in the Garden State. And things are just flying by like the western wind here. And what do you say? We kick off race number 3 of the chase, because it's once again that time of the broadcast again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go down trackside to get the most famous words in motorsports to kick off the Budweiser Propane 400.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the engines roar to life on the pit lane here at Gateway. 42 cars ready to do battle. Under the lights in St. Louis, Daniel Bouchard starts on the pole position in the 07 Subway Dodge Charger. Zachary Fitzwater in the 99 Chevrolet Monte Carlo for NS Racing, making up the front row. NS Racing making up 2 of the first 3 starting positions. Stapleton starts next to Skylar Taylor in the 15. And Howell, New Jersey native of Matt Wolf next to Reggie Fogelman in the number 12. Making sure everybody rolls off the grid. There are Juan Rodriguez and Matthew Hubert, the regular season champion and your most recent winner here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. It'll be 80 laps around the 1.25-mile Gateway International Raceway this evening. Pit window will be 45 to 47 laps, so a single money stop just past the halfway point. Very flat racetrack here, 9 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4, 11 degrees in turns 1 and 2. And your defending winner of the Budweiser Propane 400 is Diego Vasquez. He is not in the starting grid this evening, so a new winner will be crowned just outside of St. Louis tonight here in Madison, Illinois. Pace car will make its way down the pit lane. Cars come on to this flat front straightaway at this flat egg-shaped oval and are ready to go through the Reese's restart zone. Bouchard, Fitzwater, where's Dale Jr.? He's not here at Gateway, but the green flag is dropped for race number 3 of the chase. Like we said, Dale Jr., he ain't in this race, but Daniel Bouchard is, and he is getting 10 bonus points. So he rides around these flat turns 1 and 2. Nathan Stapleton, good jump on that inside lane as they're stacking up behind them. Already making their way to the front. Matthew Hubert in the 75 is Buck Racing teammates. In fact, all 3 Buck Racing cars starting outside of the top 40 is a little close for comfort there. Ryan Durrani and Logan Williams, a couple drivers fighting to be the best of the rest. Logan Williams right now in 14th of the point standings, if I'm not mistaken. Keegan Thompson caboosing this way, back out front. The Ottawa, Ontario native showing the way in the 07. The big staple in second. Reggie Fogelman, so far his best run of the 24 campaign. Although it is only lap 3 of 80, Cameron Garlington and Zachary Fitzwater rounding out the top 5, and Mitchell Collins running right where he started in that 6th position. Actually, scratch that, he's +1 as Matt Wolf has fallen a little ways back in the 42 as Collins will now set his sights on Zachary Fitzwater. He's trying to use that starting spot to his advantage as Buck Racing goes about 3 wide going out of turn number 2 there. But Alexandre Vitale started this race and already did 13 and the 00 contact, and upside down goes Thomas Troxel, and the yellow flag is out. A horrifying crash in turn 3. And Igor Barreto, a lot of damage to the front end of that Valvoline Dodge. And he, along with Thomas Troxel, will be your first 2 retirees of this race, as the yellow flag has come out, and we have seen a lot of these cars upside down this season. Daniel Bouchard led them back to the stripe. Stapleton in second, Fogelman third. So everybody gets sorted out in the back, and that is not good for this 13 car. You see the amount of damage, and we're hearing on the radio that the radiator got punched in, so that is going to be the end of the night most likely for this 13, unless they can make some repairs. As Keegan Thompson down the pit lane in the 14, and we're hearing from the 17 crew that they may have a fuel leak. They're going to stay out this time around. Thompson will come in just to top off on fuel. 4 laps under speed. Actually, I think Thompson may have got caught up with the number 5, rather, a Cole Sampson. Now we're going to make sure this 13 goes to the garage area, which it is more than likely that he will. But everybody else staying out on the pit lane. Not the start that Barreto would have won, and he is going to the garage area with accident damage. So our first 2 cars knocked out of tonight after a big crash on lap number 4 has put us under the yellow flag for the first time tonight. That really looked like a crash that would happen in the stop motion edition of the Propane 400. But Daniel Bouchard leads, and let's see what happened. What transpired, occurred, all the adjectives in the world. See what happened to bring out caution number 1, the Budweiser Propane 400 from Gateway. So this was the battle for 10th between the 00 of Thomas Troxel and the 13 of Igor Barreto, and Troxel just getting pinched by that 13, and both of those cars hard in the safer barrier, and that's just a classic NR crash right there as Troxel phases into the wall, just catches something in the spaghetti code, and he is along for a wild ride in that 00 car. Cole Sampson, oh, he's just slamming on the brakes, and he is actually going to give that 00 a pretty significant nudge. And another big side swipe there for Keegan Thompson, so that's why the 2 Appleseed cars came down the pit lane. But side over side, end over end, barrel rolling going Thomas Troxel, and he will go to the garage area in the 00. A very tough break for Troxel. Still looking for his first win of the season, but going for a wild ride. The Edmonton, Alberta native, getting all shook up like a snow globe in that 00 car. Another look at this in real time, and just an unfortunate accident there as Troxel goes flipping upside down. Don't often see a car going upside down like that at a track like Gateway, but NR crash, that's going to happen from time to time. But the biggest loser, undoubtedly the 13 of Igor Barreto, after having such a good run at Greenville Spartanburg and a decent run at Darlington. He is going to go behind the wall and finish 41st tonight, and he's going to lose a lot of spots in that 13. But with one Canuck in the garage area, another one is leading the race as Daniel Bouchard led them back to the caution flag. Nobody that was not involved in the accident came down the pit lane, so we'll see what these guys do on the restart as we clean up caution number 1 here at Gateway. And we're back here at the Gateway International Raceway, cleaning up a violent first caution of the evening for the Budweiser Propane 400. Igor Barreto and Thomas Troxel, the 2 cars knocked out from that accident on lap number 4. And the 17 is still on the pit lane. Like we said, a fuel leak for Logan Williams, and he has lost at least 1 lap and is likely going to lose another as that team just tries to patch things up in that 17 car. the car that he owns, the 07 Daniel Bouchard, your leader right now, has led all 8 laps so far. Pace car will make its way back down the pit lane. Your top 5 going back through the gears will be Bouchard, Stapleton, Fogelman, Garlington, and Fitzwater, with Collins, Smith, Taylor, Crown Jr., and San Vitale, your top 10, as they go back through the gears. Green flag in the air, and a good jump for Nathan Stapleton, trying to get to the inside of this 07 going into turn number 1. Bouchard will pull away as they go onto the back stretch. No pyrotechnics here this evening, as I don't believe that we can't even have fire particles in this version of NR, or any current version of NR. But I can guarantee you that if we did have pyrotechnics, we would absolutely show them and not pull a Fox Sports and completely miss them. Stapleton's, or rather Logan Williams, still on the pit lane. Stapleton now under fire from the 12 machine. Reggie Fogelman still looking for his first win and trying to get some sort of a successful little moment there for RF Trackhouse. That team really struggling in their first year of competition. Fogelman has just been off the pace a couple times. He's had a couple of incidents, or a couple instances, where he's been in contention to win the race but hasn't been able to put it all together. And trying to find where Angel Gutierrez is. He's actually not running too bad right now in that 10 car. Currently running a good top 15 run for him so far as he tries to get around Matt Wolf. Wolf fighting hard on the outside, but both these are Trackhouse cars just trying to put something together, and while they're not going to be fighting for a championship, the individual wins are just as important for these best of the rest guys. One of them being Daniel Bouchard. In fact, the only chase driver up inside the top 10 right now. Actually, 2 chase drivers up inside the top 10. Be the 96 and the 71. So both ends of the chase spectrum up here as we're on lap number 12 of 80. Going wide through the corner. Roberto Crown Jr. really wide. It's another Dodge with running up here in the top 10. 7 Dodges in the field, although 6 of them are running on the racetrack and 5 of them are on the lead lap. But Daniel Bouchard is leading in the 07 Subway Dodge Charger. Goes Dodge, Chevy, 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 Dodge, Toyota, your top 6. And everybody pretty much running single file here on lap 13. And getting around this 97 car for second is Reggie Fogelman, as he'll set his sights on that 07. Bouchard continuing to show the way, has led all 13 laps so far tonight. But Fogelman just getting right there in that 12. It's drawn within 0.4 of a second of the 07, as again, pretty much everybody's just single file in this pack right now. Oh, and already a hard hit down to the inside for Cole Sampson. And Matthew Hubert going around, no caution. That was all the way in the back, and another chase driver with issues. It's not going to be back-to-back wins for Matthew Hubert. As he goes around, doesn't look like there's a whole lot of damage on that 75 car. And I am very surprised that the caution did not come out, with Matthew Hubert clearly going around, but it was in the back of the track. And again, we've seen that a lot this season as well, race control being a little inconsistent. But that, especially with a chase driver, that is a very, very tough break for Matthew Hubert. And we also saw them hitting that inside wall hard. Was Cole Sampson in that 5 car? But that'll set Hubert behind the 8 ball, and he will join that 13 car running sub 40 right now. I think he's running actually 39th. He is running 39th as Matthew Hubert. 10 laps down is 17, as they're just still trying to figure out that issue but they're pretty much out of contention as it is right now. And the way that things typically run at Gateway, I know we're just coming off of our second incident of the night, but you know, typically races at Gateway, flat track like this, typically don't see a whole lot of cars wrecking out. But here we go for the lead. Right within a car length on that back bumper, Reggie Fogelman right on the back end of Daniel Bouchard, looking to perform our first lead change of the evening. And Nathan Stapleton waiting in the wings to make sure that they keep it straight right now. But everybody just running single file for the most part. And here comes Fogelman. He's going to have an edge to the inside of the 07. Goes the 12. Drag race down the front straightaway. Bouchard will get the run off of the corner. Going into turn one, we'll see if Fogelman tries to outbrake him. He is not. Now he's under fire from the other side. Stapleton trying to fight hard on the outside. He'll lose a little bit of time to Cameron Garlington. The top two pulling away. As looking for the 3 wide pass down low. Mitchell Collins just trying to get around this 28, but he's going to try and get around this 97 and rather as well. He's already gotten around the 79 and trying to get around this 97 too. And another couple positions for this 71 car, and more positions as well for Alex Sanvitale. For the first 2 races of the chase, he is looking to be the favorite, with Matthew Hubert and Igor Barreto all having issues. We'll see where the 48, Juan Rodriguez, not getting a good jump off of the start. Remember, he and Hubert both started in that row 20, in that 21st row. So right now this result, you know, Corey Case is not really running well. Neither is Braden Perez. Derek Hamill running midway through the field. Toby Murphy actually running just outside of the top 10 in P number 12. Logan Alexander right behind him. Dylan Matthews, although we just saw Bradley Ream for a split second. There's Dylan Matthews in the Cinevis number 1. She's running deep in the field in the 28th spot. So this is going to be a big night for Sanvitale if he's able to stay where he is. In case you're just tuning in, Igor Barreto being knocked out on the 4th lap of the race. A violent wreck between him and Thomas Troxel, where the 00 went upside down. And just a couple of laps ago, Matthew Hubert in the 5 of Cole Sampson. Tangoing coming out of turn number 2. Sampson actually had hard contact in that inside wall, but the caution did not come out, and Sampson is going to have extended repairs in the pit lane. He has been involved in both incidents tonight, but only 1 caution so far in the Budweiser Propane 400. You see the tire marks in the backstretch, and we'll have shown the replay by now. But now we're starting to get in the point of the race where the tires are starting to wear out, and we're starting to see things kind of settling in. Collins does have the fast lap of the race, and he has got it by about 0.7 of a second over this 28 car right now. Actually, scratch that. We'll make that 0.9 of a second. 0.09 over Cameron Garlington. Both these guys running up front. But fastest lap, 32.4, and last time by running 32.7, so about 0.3 of a second off the pace right now with how, I wouldn't say bad these Hoosiers are wearing out, but did have a couple of laps under the yellow flag. So they cleaned up the debris from that wreck with Thomas Troxel. Another thing I love about this mod, and I'm glad it doesn't translate into the actual race and gameplay and cautions and yellows and stuff like that, is the debris that comes off of these cars is super realistic. But thankfully, we don't get any debris cautions, which, again, at least in NR, those would at least mean something and not just be phantom debris cautions like they've got in the Cup Series. We're a quarter of the way through the Budweiser Propane 400. Leading all the laps has been Daniel Bouchard. Flash through the rest of the field. We'll get an update on your chase drivers. Starting off with Mitchell Collins in the 71. Currently in position number 4 in P8. Your championship leader coming in tonight, Alexandre Vitale. Toby Murphy still just outside of the top 10, running in P number 12. 13th is Logan Alexander. And Bradley Ream all the way down in 18th. We saw Derek Hamill hit the outside wall just a little bit, and he is going to lose a lot of ground in that 47. See there, it doesn't look like to be a whole lot of damage to that 47 car, but currently battling with Dylan Matthews for 26th and 27th respectively. And Corey Case just inside the top 30. Same thing with Juan Rodriguez. In fact, a big gaggle of chase drivers all on top of one another, and Rodriguez will make it 3 wide going through the corner. Gotta be a little bit careful that he doesn't put himself even more behind the 8 ball with Sam Vitale having the run that he's having. In fact, another chase driver back in here, Braden Perez, in that 92, running in 31st. So a lot of chase drivers towards the tail end of the field. Obviously, Matthew Hubert going around, and Igor Barreto in the garage area with 40 cars on the track. 39 of them racing, 17 of Williams, 22 laps down. Still in the pit lane. I think they're just going to try and call it there if you're the 17 team, because he's not getting back out on there. And unless we have another guy wrecking, I don't think that he is ultimately going to have a shot of moving up. It's a real tough situation for Logan Williams, but he's not a chase driver like he was last year. Did get the win at Milwaukee and was in the running. He was only about 4 points away from making the chase. But the run he had at Darlington, the run he had at Greenville-Spartanburg, and the run he's having tonight, I think he's thankful that he's not having to worry about a championship run. Because that absolutely would put him miles behind everybody else. Collins now trying to fight for third right on the tail end of Nathan Stapleton. Closing in on the halfway point through tonight's race. Starting to see everybody just running their lines, running their routes. Going for position as Skylar Taylor will lose a couple of spots in the 15. That'll put Toby Murphy up 1 position. Trying to get around this 15 as a 58 as Alexander is gonna see this 10 car come up right behind him. Gutierrez thought about making it 3 wide for a moment, thought better of it. It's a 10 of the 58 will put the 7 of Ethan Lewis posted high on the outside lane. And again, this is typically the point of the race. You know, a flat track like this, where track position matters. It's not a cycle race. It's not them going 4 wide like at Homestead, which again, mentioned it at the top of the show, and I am really hoping that this race we have at Homestead in a couple of weeks is going to be exactly like the one we had for the Winston All-American Series. If you haven't watched that race, I highly recommend you do, because that was a banger, to say the least, at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Won by that man right there, Owen Miles. A last lap pass underneath Bradley Ream, funny enough. Ream in a much different situation than Owen Miles is. Miles still looking for his 2nd win of his career, and Ream won your Duncan Week of Speed sweepstakes in the 36. That really helped put him in the chase. It's Toby Murphy moving on up, playing the Sanford and Son theme song right there. It's the Hamilton, New Jersey native will move within 1 position of the 96. Murphy having a good run. Collins still with the fastest lap, and just before the halfway point, what do you say we go down and get yourselves a Twisted Tea race break. So let's go through the field, presented by Fram. So Daniel Bouchard leads here on lap number 35. Reggie Fogelman is second. Third is Nathan Stapleton. Fourth is Mitchell Collins. Rounding out the top five, Cameron Garlington. Sixth is Trey Smith. Seventh, Zachary Fitzwater. Eighth is Alex Sanvitale. Ninth, Toby Murphy. Top 10 caboosed by Roberto Crown Jr. 11th is Logan Alexander, 12th Skylar Taylor, 13th Angel Gutierrez, 14th Ethan Lewis, 15th Danny Fallington, 16th Charlie Davenport, 17th Bradley Ream, 18th Brenna Wilmington, 19th Riley Sampson. Top 20 bookended by Tyler Reynolds. Top half of the field caboosed by John Andrews. 22nd is Eric Monaco, 23rd Caleb Rose, 24th Matt Wolf. Top 25 is caboosed by the 11 of Alex Lozano, 26th Dylan Matthews, 27th Derek Hamill, 28th Juan Rodriguez, 29th Corey Case. Top 30 is ended by Braden Perez. 3 wide going through the corner. Will Parrish, who runs 31st, trying to get around a couple of chase drivers. Help from Dano Georgi, who's 32nd. 33rd is Justin Zidell. 34th Owen Miles. 35th Nathan Orman. 36th Keegan Thompson. 37th Ryan Durrani, 38th Cole Sampson, 39th Matthew Hubert, 40th is Logan Williams right there. And that are all the cars that are still on the track. And your other 2 drivers, Igor Barreto and Thomas Troxel, caught up in an accident on lap number 4. So they sit behind the wall as we work on lap number 38. Collins still with the fastest lap. Brought to you by Tag Heuer, and nobody has the Valvoline fastest pit stop just yet. Although we did have Keegan Thompson come down. Thompson only got 2 tires on that stop, so he's not in the running just yet for the Valvoline fastest pit stop of the race. One of these 12 chase drivers, 11 remaining chase drivers looking to get it. Top of the show, we mentioned your pit window going to be between 45 to 47 laps. And this is a very tricky pit road to get down, as you'll see, you're going to see it right there. That's a little bit of a poor angle. We'll try and get a better one here as Matthew Hubert will scream by in the 75. And right there, that orange box is the commitment line for these drivers. Obviously, that's where they're supposed to come in. They're realistically coming anywhere between that orange box and the grass right there. But we've seen flat pit roads be the bane of the leader's existence as the cross flag's displayed, and the yellow flag is actually displayed. Someone going around, and not sure who it was. Oh, it's Angel Gutierrez. I think I saw the 44 down the pit lane. I don't see any damage to Gutierrez, and excuse me, the 44 is not down, but the yellow flag is out, and well, there goes the green flag pit stop conversation out of the window, and I was kind of excited to see them do some live pit stops here. But Daniel Bouchard leading them down the pit lane. He got like a really, really good jump on these guys on the pits. But Bouchard, as the rest of the field will try and catch up. Bouchard, the first one down. Trying to see if there was a flat tire for Gutierrez. That's yet again another mechanical issue for Gutierrez, who has just had an absolutely hellacious start to his rookie season, just rookie season in general. But Bouchard will lead them down the pit lane, and here we go for pit stops. 07 car is going to take 4 tires because he wants to. Going to take a nap because caution brakes indeed suck, but going to get a donut here in between the race break. 4-tire stop for the 07. And off the leaderboard right now, 1453, 1444. 1436 out of the 36 camp. That looks to be the fastest time. No, 1433, Nathan Stapleton putting together a blinding fast pit stop. So everybody else comes back out onto the track. But Daniel Bouchard led them off the pit lane and past the halfway point here at Gateway under our second caution of the evening in the Budweiser Propane 400. We're just going to play this once in real time, and Angel Gutierrez is very, very lucky he didn't get railroaded here. He blows a tire. Everybody just trying to get around him. Matt Wolf nearly sideswiping the 10, and he's just going to pull it to the outside of the track, out of the racing line, and he's just going to park it. We've seen that a bunch of times this season, and the yellow flag will come out. And this was right as Matthew Hubert was going to get lapped there. So I think that'll be really good for Matthew Hubert. He's able to come down the pit lane, repair some damage, and try and cut his way back through the field. But Daniel Bouchard led them off of the pit lane. We'll see what he is able to do on the restart as we clean up caution number 2 of the evening at Gateway. And we're back here at Gateway cleaning up caution number 2 of the Budweiser Propane 400. And down 2 laps after that tire issue, the 10 of Angel Gutierrez. 37 laps down is the 17, who's still on the pit road lane somehow. 38 cars are on the lead lap, 40 cars on the track total. And we're going to split this race pretty much in 2, with Daniel Bouchard getting the lead and Nathan Stapleton indeed having the fastest lap of the race. The fastest pit stop, rather, 14:33. Bradley Ream would have loved to have those bonus points, but just a couple hundredths of a second off, and that is really what just separates good pit crews from great ones. Top 5 going back through the gears: Bouchard, Fogelman, Collins, Stapleton, and the 28 of Garlington. Green flag dropping once again here on lap number 45 of 80. And Gutierrez going to the inside of that 07. That'll open the door for Mitchell Collins as the 12 car nearly gets pushed all the way up high. And here we go for the race lead. Collins to the inside of his Dodge teammate and the dominant car of the night, in danger of losing the race lead. He's led all 44 laps so far, but he's not going to lead the 45th as Mitchell Collins, who it seemed like after the last 2 races has used up all of his luck at Michigan and Armory Digital. But he is out front in this 71. A great jump off of the restart. But not done yet is this 07 car, as Bouchard looking to thunder back to the inside. And here he goes for the move. No, he's going to come down the pit lane. Trouble for Daniel Bouchard. He is going to miss the pit lane. Back into traffic, into Skylar Taylor, in front of the rest of the field. And we're going to get a huge mess in turn 4. Taylor upside down, a huge hit for Ryan Durrani into the attenuator. Braden Perez, a chase driver with issues, and the yellow flag back out. Perez, heavy damage to your Daytona 500 champion, and it looks like he was the only chase driver involved. I don't know what happened to Daniel Bouchard, but the big one in turn number 4, ARCA brakes galore, and the dominant car of the race junked in the Subway Dodge Charger. Charlie Davenport, Danny Fallington, the 78 of Zidell with damage, Will Parrish, Owen Miles a little bent up, but the biggest driver of that, and some contact between the 07 and the 40, so tempers flaring between those two. But yet another bad run for Braden Perez. Darlington wrecked out, finished all the way back in 26th at Greenville Spartanburg, and it's going to be another bad finish for this Hulu number 92. Doesn't look like there's too much damage. He is missing a fender, but they are going to retire the car, and Braden Perez, seeing his championship hopes go up in smoke most likely. And that will give the race lead to Mitchell Collins, leading some of his first laps tonight. But my goodness, what a race this has been so far, as we're under caution for the third time tonight. You know, we said Gateway was going to be one of the more tamer races. We couldn't have been anywhere further from the truth. We've got 2 flips in this race so far, and we're just past the halfway point. Going to be coming around to less than 30 laps to go. But Mitchell Collins led them off for the restart, and let's take a look at a couple of different angles of this accident. It's turn 4. Has been Calamity Corner so far tonight here at Gateway. So this all starts with Daniel Bouchard coming to the inside, and there was no indication of an issue on the 07 car. I think it was just trying to dive into the inside, and the LP file kind of screwed up, but like we saw with Owen Miles at Nazareth, what goes down the flat pit lane ultimately must come up, especially if you're going about 88, 90 miles an hour and back up into traffic. A lot of chase drivers in front of this, behind this 07, but Skylar Taylor pounds the back end of that car. Danny Fallington nowhere to go, just barely missing at the 62. Hit square in the door by the 98 was the 15, and it is on from there. Bradley Ream is able to get past Riley Sampson, just kaplowing that 15 car in the back. Will Parrish gets turned around, and Owen Miles just sideswiping. Same cannot be said for the 92, and there goes the 15 car. Once again, a totaled ride for ST Motorsports, and Ryan Durrani trying to make evasive maneuvers. He hits the pit barrels and just slingshots back out onto the track, and that'll detonate that car. And upside down, not quite on fire, but she might as well be. Skylar Taylor once again junking that Costco number 15 car. It's not been a good stretch of races for this 15. Of course, she had the win at Bridgehampton, but this stringing along with her subpar finishes in the FMGTC, it's not been a good summer, apart from Bridgehampton for Skylar Taylor. But Daniel Bouchard, who had led all 44 laps up to this point, junked in that 07 four-year pole sitter. Take another look at this accident and then get you back to the action, but fortunate circumstances here in turn 4 at Gateway. Following along with Daniel Bouchard as we see him going around through the corner, going through the apex, and pretty much just straight up lepaging the field in turn number 4. And you just see everybody ARCA braking into there. Durrani slingshotting back out. Zidell, Davenport, Fallington, Riley Sampson, Will Parrish, and the big one being Braden Perez in that 92. Miraculously, only one chase driver was caught up in it, but your Daytona 500 champion, not good starts that he would want to have, as he is going to fall deeper in the point standings. Fell 3 positions after Greenville Spartanburg, and he is going to fall even further tonight. He'll join Igor Barreto, chase drivers in the garage area after a race tonight. Definitely a race of our times here at Gateway. Mitchell Collins led them back to the stripe. Nobody came down the pit lane that did not have damage. See what these guys are able to do on the restart. We'll get things going back racing. Under 30 to go here in the Budweiser Propane 400. And we're just back in time for the green flag, as here we go back to the Reese's restart zone. Mitchell Collins, Cameron Garlington, Reggie Fogelman, Alex Sanvitale, and Trey Smith, your top 5, as you see the laundry list of cars. Knocked out Charlie Davenport, the 16, the 92, the 78, basically just everybody all the way from Davenport, the 98 to the 38, knocked out in that accident. We got this race restarted with exactly 30 laps to go, and Mitchell Collins has got a car in between him, but Alex Sanvitale looking to extend his race lead, or his points lead, going into the Casa Bonita Denver double. He's underneath Cameron Garlington. Garlington drafting help up high, not going to mean anything, and Logan Alexander looking to have his first good run of the chase. Remember, he had a horrifying accident at Darlington. He was cleared to race at Greenville-Spartanburg, caught up in an accident there, but he is right now running in this third spot. He can make the pass stick on the 12, and he is going to get it. Chase driver is running 1, 2, 3 as they flash underneath the stripe. And Daniel Bouchard able to repair that car. It's not been a good night for Logan Sport. Logan Williams having his issues, and the 07 coming back on the track. He's got to be careful here. And he might be just slow enough to be a moving chicane as Corey Case wisely backing out of this situation. And he is going to lose a lot of ground with a whole Oklahoma Land Rush of chase drivers behind him. Matthew Hubert, good recovery in the 75, but he is already losing touch with the rest of this pack. But this right now is going to be a huge points day for Sam Vitale if he is able to keep it where it is in that 96. And was the highest finishing chase driver at Darlington with 16th. Shows how insane that race at Darlington was. And at Greenville-Spartanburg, second highest running chase driver there. Actually the third highest chase driver. Matthew Hubert won the race. Derek Hamill finished fourth. But the spin in top 5 for Alex Vitale, a good recovery for that team after going around early on in that race. And he is putting together consistent finish after consistent finish. And like we saw with Derek Hamill in 2022, Aiden McCrow in 2021, points reset doesn't matter. It's all about these next 10 races and how consistent you can be. And Sam Vitale has been one of the most consistent drivers on the grid this entire season. There's a reason he was, I think, third in the points. He was second or third in the regular season standings. Going into Darlington, had the good race there, had the good race at Greenville-Spartanburg, and here he is, 50 points ahead of Matthew Hubert coming into tonight. But Hubert having issues. Rodriguez right now all the way back in 20th. I don't know where actually Toby Murphy is up there. And so, same with Dylan Matthews. So a good run for the 20 and the 1 right now. But Mitchell Collins looking to prove the doubters wrong. Again, like we said, after these last 2 races, we're starting to think that Collins used up pretty much all of his luck. In the final 2 races, wrecked out at Darlington, through a camshaft at Greenville-Spartanburg, and has only amassed 20 points over the last 2 races. He's not going to gain anything on this 96 car, but a 3rd win of the season and a 6th career win for Mitchell Collins would be well appreciated. And I gotta tell you, Collins, I think he's finally found a permanent home here at Titan Fury Racing. His 4th different team in 4 seasons of competition. And he's gotten a win with all 4 programs. He got the win for Father Fruit Motorsports back in 2020. One with Buck Racing in that 78 car back in 21. And one with Yellow Monkey Racing, coincidentally the team that went to Victory Lane back in 2022 here at Gateway with Diego Vasquez. He won with that team at Dover back in 22, and he's got 2 wins already this season for that Tag Heuer 71 group. And Collins trying to get win number 3 of the season, and he's 21 laps away from doing so. Sam Vitale not letting him out of his sights. Neither is this 58, and got a lot of chase drivers up in this top 5 right now, rather top 6. In fact, the only non-chase driver right now is Trey Smith running in P4 as he tries to get around this 58. Nathan Stapleton with Valvoline, fastest pit stop of the race, and Logan Alexander, Tag Heuer, fastest lap. It did belong to the Tag Heuer car for the majority of this race, but Logan Alexander And the fastest lap after that restart. Right now we're in about 0.3 of a second off the pace with those Hoosiers starting to wear out. As Hubert will pick up some more positions. Now Derek Hamill falling back in the 47. Not a good run for Hamill. Not a good backup after that top 5 run at Greenville-Spartanburg. Matthew Hubert not going to go back-to-back, but decent recovery for him after spinning early on in this race. Been able to climb his way up to 24th in that 75. So a decent recovery for him. I don't think he's going to fall too far behind Matthew Hubert. And again, after tonight, we got 7 races left. You know, we went over at the top of the show, but, you know, the Denver Oval, anything can happen there. You know, we've seen chase drivers get tangled up at the Denver Oval. Same thing with the Denver Oval. Then we got an off week where we go to Ricky, wild card race. Kansas races, you know, it's races a lot like Chicagoland. Then Homestead is Homestead with the Wisdom All-American Series race we had there. Trenton, I think, will be the last track position race we have. You know, it's a flat track, you know, Kidney Bean 5-turn racing facility. In fact, the hometown track of Toby Murphy. With Murphy, Hamilton, New Jersey native, living about half a mile from the track, so we'll see a lot of people showing their support. Still haven't figured out what the race name is going to be. Trying to throw around either this is going to be the Theta Chi 500. It's definitely not going to be the 1077 the Bronc 500 again. Either the Theta Chi 500, Cure Insurance 500. Try and figure out what it'll be down there. Maybe the NJ Transit 500 with how slow the cars go there. I'll let you guys decide. I'll throw up a poll after this race is complete. Actually, I'll throw up a poll probably after I'm done recording this race. But Mitchell Collins just continuing to run here. 15 laps to go as they flash onto the stripe in just a few moments. Sam Vitale second, Alexander third. Murphy fifth. Sixth is Dylan Matthews in that one car. Then we got to go a long ways back to Juan Rodriguez, still fighting with this 28 and 21. 3 wide off of the corner. Hold on to your butts, ladies and gentlemen, as Cameron Garlington is going to lose 3 spots in 1 lap. He's actually going to lose 4 spots here as John Andrews will go to his inside. But that will move that 48 car all the way up to the 18th spot. And still running in 24th, Matthew Hubert. 27th, or 26th rather, Derek Hamill. 27th is Bradley Ream. And again, all your chase, the rest of your chase field in the garage area. Braden Perez wrecked out in the big one, and lap 4 of the race took out the 13 of Igor Barreto, with all the drivers that have been knocked out of this race today, and all these drivers running inside the top 10. Barreto is going to be behind the 8 ball. Same thing, I think Perez is definitely going to fall back a lot. Collins is trying to do some damage control as we wind down a wild one so far. And like we said, splitting this race in 2. 3 cautions so far. 2 of them for incident, 1 of them because that 10 car just decided to pull a Mike Bliss and pull on the racetrack. So nicest lap of the race, and Mitchell Collins intending to lead it once again. And here we go. Here comes his 58. Logan Alexander starting to make his way to the front, putting some night moves for that 58 car. Playing some Bob Seeger. So he gets a push from Trey Smith down into turn number 3. Now Smith looking to get an edge. This 96 car will potentially lose 2 spots here. They're going to continue to go side by side. Exactly what Toby Murphy and Dylan Matthews want to see. 11 to go in the Budweiser Propane 400. Battle for second heating up. Gutierrez still just the pick between this 71 and all of these chase drivers back in here. Two wildcard drivers running first and second, and going to the boondocks will be the 96 Murphy, looking to the inside of San Vitale in a brief moment. Now he's going to be on the outside of Trey Smith. 10 to go. This is where drivers are going to get aggressive, and like we've seen a lot tonight, aggressive tends to go around. Big run going out of turn number 2 for Matthews. Can't quite get the slide job to stick. So fall back into the clutches of Tyler Reynolds. A good run for this 19 car, your Atlanta winner. All three guys and gals up in here just still looking for their first wins of their MBCS careers. Collins looking for win number 6. Same thing for this 58. It's insane. You know, Logan Alexander and Mitchell Collins. Collins has been around for 4 seasons. Alexander had his rookie year back in 21. But each of these guys looking for their 6th career wins in the MBCS. You know, you look at the all-time wins list. Madison Tull and Keegan Thompson, both with 7. Thompson not in position to get that tonight. He is deep in the field and 25th. You know, Logan Alexander, Mitchell Collins, like we said, 5 wins apiece. They're tied with Ryan Durrani, Derek Hamill, and Eric Monaco for that mark. I'm surprised Zachary Fitzwater only has 4 wins in the top level. He's got the same amount as Tyler Reynolds, Landon Smith Jr. That's a blast from the past. Go down the list. Zachary Davis with 3 wins. Just a lot of weird names here that I'm now remembering. Oh, yeah, they raced in here. Jonathan Logan, 1 season, won the championship, and then just said peace. Brendan Yodel, Diego Vasquez, the defending winner of this race, Josh Williamson, Jake Hoover, Daisy Johnson, Matt Tuck, Jesse Turner from 22, Jordan Lopez, your defending winner at Homestead, Miami. But here we go. Angel Gutierrez being really aggressive on the back bumper of this 71. 6 to go at the line, and starting to wonder, we could see a situation like we saw at Texas World, where a lap car has been used as a pick all night long, but then they get tired of racing behind the driver in front of them, and they can stall out really, really quickly here. I don't know if Gutierrez is going to have the horsepower to get around right now. Last time around, you know, he did run a 10th of a lap faster than Collins last time by. 5 laps to go in the Budweiser Propane 400. Mitchell Collins looking to lead the tail end of the race. Logan Alexander, 0.7 of a second off the 79 of Trey Smith, looking for career win number 1, and San Vitale and Toby Murphy rounding out your top 5. But this 10 car in the middle of the 71 and the 58, and now Trey Smith says it's go time. He doesn't care that Logan Alexander's a chase driver. He'll dart to the inside. 4 to go as they go under the stripe, and that's exactly what the doctor is going to order from this Collins camp. Smith was not able to complete the pass, and that might be the race right there unless Gutierrez can get around this 71. Mitchell Collins came in a 2024 with 3 career wins, and he's looking to double that amount coming out of Gateway. 3 laps to go, and the gap now 0.8 of a second between the 71 and the 58. Both of these drivers came into the chase as wild cards. Logan Alexander is going to gain a ton of points here tonight. San Vitale will extend his points lead going into the Casa Bonita Denver double. Good runs for Toby Murphy and the one of Dylan Matthews for those drivers, well needed. The gap now 20 car lengths with popsicle sticks in the air, 2 to go at Gateway. 2.5 miles remaining in Madison, Illinois, the gateway to the west. might be the gateway to Mitchell Collins trying to salvage his season. The next flag will end the race, but I don't think we're going to get a yellow here. San Vitale underneath this 79, looking to gain 5 more points. At the line, white flag in the air, one more time around the Gateway International Raceway for Des Moines, Iowa's Mitchell Collins. Murphy looking to make some moves to the inside of San Vitale. That'll be the battle back there, and battling for 7th, a couple of non-chase drivers in Reynolds and Monaco. Through the 9 degrees of turns 3 and 4, Gutierrez is going to try and get around this 71. No dice there. And off of the final corner, he is back in a big way. Iowa's Mitchell Collins picks up win number 3 in 2024. And Mitchell Collins, the three-peat, gets career win number 6 in that 71, third win of the season, and he is having a Ryan Durrani-like year in that 71. Half a second away from victory was Logan Alexander. He will definitely take the points. So will Alex San Vitale, a fantastic run for him. Toby Murphy, Dylan Matthews. And good recovery for the 63 of Corey Case. Dodge started on the pole, and Dodge led every single lap of this one here tonight, with Mitchell Collins getting it done in that 71 car. Taking a look at your official standings: Collins, Alexander, Smith, your podium; San Vitale, Murphy, your top 5; Matthews, Monaco, Reynolds, Fitzy, and Georgia, your top 10. Take a look and see all the drivers who retired from this race. And your chase drivers: Collins getting the W, Logan Alexander with a 1-2 finish for the chase drivers; San Vitale, Murphy, Matthews, 3 chasers in a row for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Corey Case ends up being 13th. A good recovery for Case after spending the majority of this race in around the 30th position. Fogelman fell really back at the end. He's not a chase driver, but Juan Rodriguez is able to salvage 17th. Matthew Hubert, like we said, finishing 24th. Not the best, but not the worst case scenario for him. Bradley Ream and Derek Hamill falling back late in the going. And then, of course, Braden Perez and Igor Barreto falling outside of the top 30, really. Just in the garage area, outside the top 35 for those drivers. Again, San Vitale looking to be the early championship favorite. Collins is able to finally get some points, but San Vitale is going to extend his lead a ton coming out of this race. I believe Murphy is definitely going to be, I'd say it's going to be San Vitale, Murphy, Hubert, Rodriguez. I don't know about Dylan Matthews or Logan Alexander. I think Alexander will probably be around 7th or 8th. Hamill will lose spots. Igor Barreto is going to fall like a rock, and Braden Perez is probably going to fall down all the way to last at this point. Actually, I'll give that to Bradley Ream. So I believe Ream, Perez will be 11th and 12th. You'll all figure it out in a couple of moments. But career win number 6 for Mitchell Collins. He gets the job done at Gateway, and that is going to do it here from the Gateway International Raceway. Congratulations once again to Mitchell Collins for winning the Budweiser Propane 400. No Band-Aid cars needed here, although a couple of drivers would want to put some Band-Aids on their car. You can't do that, though. But we'll see you Friday afternoon out west in the Rocky Mountains for the first race of the Casa Bonita Denver Double. Coverage for the Coors Banquet Denver 300K from the Denver Roval starts at 11 a.m. sharp local, so 1 o'clock Eastern time right here on the NASRN. So that's 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Midwest, and 10 a.m. Eastern time or 10 a.m. Western to West Coast time here in the great United States, but that's going to do it here once again. And like I said, Coors Banquet, Denver 300K from the Denver Oval, starting at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on the NASRN. And that'll be the first race of two. It's a back-to-back doubleheader at the Denver Motorsports Park with 24 laps of action around the Denver Oval. And then the next day, on the 31st of August at 2 o'clock Eastern, South Park 400 presented by Denver Mattress on the Denver Oval. And after that, we'll have our off weekend. And it's off and running for the final 5 races, but 7 races to go here in the Chase. And we're going to wrap things up here from Gateway. Thanks again for tuning in. And good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your Chase bracket and point standings after race number 28 of the 2024 NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series season. And from Madison, Illinois, for the great city of St. Louis, on behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great night, folks.